Hey there, students. I hope everyone's having a great ChooseDay. That's right, choose to do good today. I want to discuss a few things about being in school and give some guidelines, especially to some of the new students. Uh, if you are getting financial aid, I want you to keep in mind that it's not going to last forever. You're only going to have a certain time period at which you will get the financial aid to be able to use. If you're confused about that, check with your school counselor or whoever you got the financial aid from and see exactly how it works. If you didn't discuss some of the particulars about your financial aid, make sure that you do, because most of them have guidelines and requirements and stuff like that, and it's not a never-ending source of aid to be able to draw from. I know many students come up on 4 years and all of a sudden are surprised when they hear that their financial aid is running out and they're not anywhere close to finishing school. And then they have a lot of financial aid that they've racked up and aren't going to have a way to pay for it using the skill that you're training for. So that brings up a point about being in school. You can't coast along and not put in the effort and expect to become a court reporter in this profession. You have to work hard at it, and you have to work very hard to get to where you want to be. One of the things that I stress is that when you're sitting at the machine, you need to be focused. I don't think it's a good idea to sit there for 8 hours a day if you're not paying attention to what you're doing. If you're going to sit there for a long time, find some dictation that is maybe a little bit slower than where you're at and work on your accuracy. But if you're going to sit there and just slap at the keys for several hours and you're not really focused, you're worrying about what somebody wore to school if you're going to school, or you worry how someone dressed at Walmart, you worry about what your husband said or your significant other said, you had a fight, you've got bills to pay, kids to worry about. When you start worrying about that kind of stuff, I think it's a good idea to stop, take a break, and get away from the machine for a little bit and then go back to it. I know that some of the recent reporters would practice for 15, 30 minutes, 45 minutes and be really focused, and then they would get up and go about doing something else and then come back to it, and they spread their practice time over the day. Some of you can do that, and some of you may not be able to do it at such a long time, especially those that have jobs and are maybe doing school part-time, so to speak. If you're going part-time, just realize that it's probably going to take you a little bit longer to get through school, but you can do it. But you're going to have to still put forth the effort. Whether you're able to go full-time or part-time, you can do this, and you can get through school. But like I said, it's going to require the effort and desire on your part to want to get through the program. And once you are coming up to the end of school and you, quote, graduate, quote, qualify, or whatever, when you finish the program, if you're not ready to take a test at that point, or if there's not a test in the near future, you might stay in school. The worst thing you can do is get qualified and leave school. You don't practice as much as you should. You think, oh, I've got this, I'm qualified, I'm ready to go. And then you go and take a test and you bomb it. And I've seen that happen more than once. And that's not what you want to do when you're ready to test or getting ready to test for maybe your state certification or your RPR, your national certification, or whatever certifications you want to get. Don't get caught into the trap of thinking that you are ready to go, and then you just sit back and relax and wait for the test to come. Because when you do that, if you're not practicing every day and staying focused like you did before to get to that point to be qualified to take the test, chances are you're probably not going to do very well. And that leads me to another point about cart and doing stuff like that, or working at a cheaper rate. Don't let people take advantage of you. That's what they're going to do. You're not certified. You don't have a license, and so why do they want to pay you more? And the lure for many is that you can make some money. And yeah, that's true, but you're not going to make the money that you could make if you were licensed or certified in some aspects. So don't let people take advantage of you because you're a student and you can write on the machine, and they want to pay you a measly fee. Don't let that happen. It's not good for you, and it's not good for the profession. Try to keep the profession in mind when you're going out there and working, and especially if you're doing stuff before you may be able to get your license or whatever. Just to keep that in mind, and don't let the people take advantage of you because you're a student and you haven't made it to the next level yet. That's something that I see every now and then. And another thing, when you do stuff like that, you get away from practicing and getting ready for your state exam or your RPR or whatever. And you'll find most of the time that it's going to cost you because you haven't been focused on testing. You're making money now, and your mind is elsewhere and not so much on the test. And then when it comes time to take the test, you've miserably bomb it, and then you get frustrated, and it just becomes a vicious cycle, in my opinion. So those are my thoughts about going through school. I was a little rough on some students last week, but if you're ready to take that test, you should be scoring pretty close to passing. If you're not ready to take the test, that's a whole different issue, and we've already beat that dead horse, and I'll let that go. I made my thoughts, others made their thoughts. It was a good discussion and a needed discussion. We agreed to disagree on many aspects, and we agreed to agree on many aspects, and so that's a good thing. But let's have a great day today. It's Tuesday. I hope you make good choices today. I hope you practice hard. I hope you get those tests nailed down. And when you're testing, the important thing, what I strive and encourage you to do, is look at your errors, look at what your problems are. If you missed it by 20 over the allowed limit, that's fine. Next test, score less than 20 errors over. Always bring your errors down. If you're not doing that, if you're making more errors on each test afterwards, then you're not focused, you're not practicing correctly, you're not doing what you need to do. So no matter what your errors are, especially when you're first starting out and you get to a new speed level and you get your first mark, so to speak, once you see what your mark is, once you see where you stand, always work to bring those errors down on each test after the first test in that speed level. And when you do that, you'll do good. But if you find that you make more and more errors than the first test, then something's not working and you're not focusing during your practice time to build your speed. So I never have a problem with you getting your mark, finding what your errors are, and then making less errors on each test. What I do have a problem with is if you get your mark and you know where you stand and you start making more errors after that, then you're not putting in the effort that you need to put into, and you're not doing what's necessary to lower the errors. It's very important that you be able to look at your test, see what your errors are, see what you're having trouble with, and then fix that. Sometimes you have to drop down a little bit, work on accuracy, and write really clean. Other times you want to push for speed. I don't think it's a bad thing to be able to drop down maybe 10 words below where you're at, or 20. Work on your accuracy, write clean, because I think if you can write very clean at 140, you should be able to pass a 160. And I think if you can write very clean at a 160, you should be able to pass a 180. If you can nail a 140, a 120, or 160 or whatever, I don't see why you shouldn't be able to write 20 words faster and still pass a test. Once you get to that level and you can write that cleanly, you really should be able to pass about 20 words a minute more. And you may not score great, but you should be able to pass it. So if you can write clean at the lower speeds and then work your way up, if you have trouble at a high speed, go back and work on some accuracy and then pick it back up on the high speed. But you guys can do this. You just have to put forth the effort. And, as I've said many times, me and lazy don't get along. And you just got to put forth the effort. And if you do that, you'll do great. And I look forward to hearing great things. I know we've started a new semester for some. And so let's knock it out of the park. Let's finish this year strong. We're past the halfway mark, I believe. So let's do what we need to do to finish out this year. Let's move up to a next level. Let's make it a goal that by the end of the year we are at least one level, if not 2 levels up. You can do that. That's not too much to ask, and I believe in you guys. So, and gals, you go get it, and don't impress me. Impress yourself at what you can do, because you can definitely do this. And I look forward to hearing great things, like I said. So let's have a great day. Let's have a great week. And with that, I'm out. Have a good day. Bye.